Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about the Both Lighting S6 Uplight. I'm going to tell you about my experience with buying them, why I bought them, a little bit about their functionality, and how I actually control these lights. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. All right, so I did a lot of research before I actually bought these lights. When I first started out DJing 20 years ago, we were using par cans where you put the gel on top. Lights got extremely hot, whole lot of power consumption. The great thing about these lights is they're LED and they're battery powered. So I don't have to worry about power consumption. I don't have to worry about where the outlets are. I'm not going to run a ton of cable. So it's a very convenient light as far as that goes. I bought these lights from Both Lighting direct. When I told a friend of mine that I was looking into these lights, they actually had a Facebook group that they were using. And one of the people on there was someone that worked for Both Lighting in China. Sent a few messages back and forth. They told me about this. They told me about the pricing. They told me that they actually had these lights in the LA warehouse, which was super convenient because I live in Orange County. I ordered them on a Friday. A week later, they showed up at my door. I've had these lights for about 3 to 4 weeks now, so unfortunately, this isn't going to be a full unboxing. I ordered the S6 Uplights 10 unit with case. When it showed up at my door, the lid was closed. The lights are actually inverted when you receive them. They're wrapped in plastic. The presentation is absolutely beautiful. They come with the 10 lights, 10 PowerCon cables, 10 of these shields, which are quite nice. If you're going to be using these outside in the rain, or you're worried about them getting spilled on, or it's just misty and you don't want them to get wet, you can use this. Comes with the remote as well, so you get 10 of the remotes, and it also comes with the PowerCon cables and an IEC cable so that you can plug it in. You can actually see that I have them charging right now. The light's on there, so very convenient. You can charge the lights in the case. You can either leave it open, which is recommended. You can also charge them with it closed, but that is not recommended. I've been told that the lights can get a little bit hot, so they don't recommend that. So I usually charge these with it open. The case itself is extremely well built, very, very sturdy. But with sturdiness comes heavy. This thing is a beast. It's about 85 pounds with everything in it. I can't lift it by myself. I don't know if I'm just weak or what, but it's a very awkward weight, and it's very awkward with how wide it is. So I actually bought one of these ramps to make it easier for myself. If I am going to be doing events by myself, I can just push it up the ramp, or just for me and my partner that are going out there, easier to push up a ramp. We're not killing our backs with anything else. Extremely well built case, like I said. Comes with these dimples on the top. I do have 2 of these cases, so if I'm stacking them, they won't wiggle around and slide around. The wheels do come with the locks on the bottom, so you can actually lock them in place. Super convenient. And again, the IEC cable you can plug in right into the side. You can see the lights on right there. Turns on and off, so it lets you know if it's charging. But that's how I do it as far as using the case and have everything in there. The lights do come with the PowerCon cables. The PowerCon cables are wrapped up super tight and really neatly. I've seen a bunch of different ways of how people actually leave the cords in there. This is how I did it. I left them wrapped nice and tight, and I have one plugged in here, one plugged in here, nice and tight, and I wound them together. And I have one PowerCon going this way, one PowerCon going this way, and all the way across. I have seen where they drape the cables all the way over, but then you can't really close the case and you can't leave the cables in there. So this is how I did it. Really convenient. Again, a little bit of Velcro using the ties that they already had in there. Just makes it easy to transport. And again, like I said, if I want to close the lid closes perfectly. On every event, I don't bring out all 20 lights. Sometimes I bring out 4, 8, 12, 16 lights, and I don't want to haul around the big case. So I went out and bought these bags. I bought them after the fact from ADJ Now. It holds 4 lights, and it's very convenient, very light, and it just makes it easier if I'm bringing out less lights to my events. I'll put a link in the description where you can get this bag. The light itself is absolutely beautiful. You can see with it here turned on. Beautiful on all sides. Just a nice, sheer, flat, smooth surface. A couple things that I did change though when it first got to me. When you first receive it, the shield part, this elevated part here, is actually going to be on the front. And the only thing that I didn't like about that is when you have this against the wall, if the shield's on the front, the great thing about that shield is it does make it so that you can't see the diodes themselves, which is very nice. But with the shield on this side, if it's against the wall, you can see the lights flashing, you can see the screen. You can turn the screen off, but unfortunately that light's always going to be flashing. Some people have put tape over it and done that kind of thing, but I don't want to ruin the light, and I don't like the look of tape on my lights. So what you can actually do is, by just unscrewing these 4 screws here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can pop the faceplate off, rotate it 180 degrees, put it right back down, and then you're set. Another thing that I did was with the handle here, when you first get it, the handle is going to be super loose and floppy. When you're putting it in upside down to charge it, it can make it very difficult to get it in the case. If you just remove this screw right here on the side, pop the one handle up, and just pull it out. Give it a little tension away from it, as if you were stretching it to make it wider. Then when you put it back in, it's nice and tight, makes it easy. You don't have this handle flopping around in the case. This is the S6 version of this uplight, so it comes with 6 18-watt diodes, red, green, blue, white, amber, and UV. Taking a little journey around the light, we've got the wireless DMX signal, which you're going to press on this button to find the channel that you're looking for. I usually use blue. You've got your LCD screen, I'll go through that in a second. You've got the IR for the remote. On the side here, you've got this little kickstand deal that pops out. This is to make it so that you get a little bit stronger of a signal. You just push on the side here, pull that out. I haven't had to use that. I've used it in some pretty big venues. I haven't had to use it yet. Maybe in bigger venues I will. My concern with this little kickstand, and the only thing that I don't like about it, is if someone does bump into the light, it can easily break off. Not too much going on the back or on the other side. On the bottom, we've got our on-off switch. We've got 2 power cons, the in, and if you want to daisy chain them, you can. Same thing with the DMX. So you got your DMX here and on the other side. You might see these little numbers on them. When I take these out, I have them numbered because I like to put them in the order for the chase sequences that I do and some of the special light shows that I do, which I'll show you in a little bit. But the main reason why I bought the S6s was because I was ready to upgrade my lights. I was currently using the Rockville wedges, which were great. It was the first light that I was actually using that had the wireless DMX on them. But they're good for 10 to 12 foot ceilings. But when I wanted to work in some of the venues that I work at that have 25 to 30 foot ceilings, it just didn't pop all the way to the top. And that's why I purchased the S6s. I purchased them directly from China. Main reason why I did that was the price. It was about, let's see here, it was $1,300 roughly for the 10 lights and the case. I bought 2 of them, so it was about $2,600. Like I said before in the video, it took about a week to get them. They were actually in the LA warehouse, and being in Orange County, they got here very quickly. Now, if you don't have a controller to actually control the lights, don't worry, you can actually control this light directly from the LCD screen. A lot of functionality on here. One of my favorite things about what's on this LCD screen is the battery life. It tells you got 100% left. Instead of showing you the 4 bars, which some Chauvet lights do, or 100%, 75%, 50% like some do, so you really never know exactly where you are. This tells you exactly where you are. I've done 5 to 8 hour events using it full on, all the colors, all the lights, and it's only taken away about 35 to 40%. So the battery life on this thing is excellent. If you're in DMX mode, you are going to be using a controller, wireless DMX, or actually DMX cables. You can do that as well. You just go into the DMX here. I've got this in 10 channel mode. It also has a 6 channel mode. And then you just set your DMX to whatever it's going to be your address. I'm going to leave this on 1. You hit enter and you're good to go. Heading over to shows, if we go in there, you can do auto color, auto fade, auto sudden, auto strobe, and Wi-Fi mode. Let me just show you the different auto modes. Auto color is just going to go through the colors and just going through every color that's in here, one beat at a time, based on the speed that you have it set in. If you go into auto fade, it's going to slowly scroll through all the different colors. If you go to auto sudden, this is more of a pulsing type of thing, not quite a strobe. It just goes full on and then just dissolves nice and slowly. And then if you go into strobe, that's strobing. And again, the strobe, it'll strobe as fast or as slow based on whatever speed you have here. If you go into sound mode, this is sound activation. So it's got the built-in microphone that's going to hear the tapping so you can see it reacting. And then if the bass is hitting hard, the drum beat's hitting, or someone's just tapping right next to the light tapping their toe, it's going to go based on how fast it feels that beat. It's got a few different sound modes. Let's just check one more out here. So if we go to sound mode 2, let's see what that does. As we tap, it's going to strobe through. So the more you tap, it actually has a multi-hit. So you tap once and it hits 4 or 5 times. That's kind of cool. Different colors as far as that goes. And you can go through all the different settings to figure out which one you like. So here you can see we are in color mode. In color mode, you can either choose a custom color or a static color.
If you're doing a custom color, you can fine tune the individual colors to exactly what you're looking for. So if in the static colors, which you'll see in a moment here, it doesn't have the exact red, pink, blue, amber that you're looking for, you can customize the colors. You can go through just selecting the red, selecting the green, selecting the blue, the UV, the amber, or the white. And by the percentage that you put the lights and the colors in, you can really dial in that color that you're looking for and be very, very specific with it. It's a nice function to have, and it just makes it so your clients are going to be extremely happy with the final product. In the settings, you can dial in exactly how you want the fixture to operate. In DMX channel, 6 or 10 channel, I use it in 10 channel mode, but you can't put it in 6, but we're going to leave it in 10. 2.4G wireless, you can turn that on or off. It must be off for wired DMX controller operation. So if you're going to run cables to the fixture, do it that way. It has to be off. Turn on if you want it wireless. For the infrared, I believe that's for the remote. If you're going to be using the remote, you're going to turn that on. Display backlight brightness, I usually leave it at 60%. I haven't really touched with it or messed with it much, but I don't think that that's going to drain any of the battery, so I'm not really worried about it. With the LCD close time, you can select the amount of time the LCD screen will remain on before turning off to conserve power. Again, I'm not really worried about how much power the LCD screen is going to pull, but you can set it to 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It's like a sleep function on a computer where the screen will actually go to sleep if you're not using it or touching it. Again, I have this facing the wall, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to restore the factory setting. I like the way the fixture is working. For manual mode, this allows you to set the brightness of each individual color. To enter this mode, use the following 4-digit code, 6666. Use the up and down buttons. Again, I don't really mess with this. I use a controller to do it. Battery, this turns the function on and off. As we move down into background color, choose from 8 different background colors for the LCD screen. You'll see that as I go through this, how it changes in the background. Again, it's easier on my eyes if it's in black, so I just leave it there.
I want to show you exactly how I control my lights. I use the ADJ Wolfmix to program my shows, set my colors, run my chases, and then I use the Lexada transmitter, it's a wireless DMX transmitter, to send the signal out to my lights. So you can see the lights out there. So I use the Lexada transmitter to send the signal. It boosts the signal so you don't have any dropouts and that kind of thing. I've used it in huge ballrooms where I can't even see the other lights, and I haven't had any dropouts yet, so I'm very happy with this. Found it for $39 online. I've seen it elsewhere from 90 to $100, but I found it for 39 bucks. I'll put a link in the description below. The Wolfmix is about $650. You might be able to find it for a little bit less. But again, I absolutely love this unit. Controls the lights. No computer is needed, which is one of the great things about this. It's a standalone unit. And again, just fantastic. I can't say enough good things about the Wolfmix. Now I've already pre-programmed into the Wolfmix exactly what I'm going to show you right now. I may do another video later showing you how to program into the Wolfmix so that you can actually do it yourself. But as you can see right here, red, green, blue, white, UV, amber, scroll, twinkle, chase, and every other. That's what I programmed just for this video. And everything up there coincides with a pad down here. So red is here. If I hit green, it's green, blue, white, UV, amber. And if you look at the lights, red, green, blue, white, UV, and amber. Another great thing about this unit is you can do things like a slow scroll, and you can control the speed of how it actually scrolls through all the different colors. You can do a twinkle, so they're going to twinkle between the different colors as far as that goes. You can do a chase, so you can see how it goes blue left to right. You can actually make that go left to right, right to left, from the inside out. You can have it kind of bounce to the beat of the music every other. So you can see it going from blue to red and just switching. You can do some cool things like strobing. They've got a feature on here, blinder, where if you press it, it just turns everything that you're controlling white. You've got the blackout button where you can black everything out. And you've got this little ADJ button at the top that does something like that. It just does like a quick trigger through all the lights. So again, very functional. It's labeled for you. This button does the crazy. The strobe obviously does strobing. The blinder just blinds you, just turns on all the lights. For example, if you want to see the crowd, then you can change the speed. You can do a blackout and smoke. If you have cold sparks or a fog machine, you can actually control it there. So this is what I take out and how I use it. Again, not going to go deep into the programming, but with the wireless transmitter, transmitting to the lights that can be controlled wirelessly, and with a unit like this, it's just very simple, and that's what I like with all my events. very easy, no stress. One small piece of equipment. You can see it's about the size of my hand, and I'm about 5'10". So just very easy to bring out and very easy to control the lights with this.
So I also wanted to show you these lights at an actual venue. Looks great in the garage, but to actually see them at a venue is the selling point for me as far as these lights go. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and these ceilings are about 16 to 18 feet tall, and you can see how the lights, even at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the sun coming in, they just power through it, and you can see everything on the walls, and they just look fantastic. Now, obviously, when the dancing starts, it's going to be dark in the room, so they'll really pop a little bit more, but you can see the chase features on here and some of the effects that I was showing you on the Wolfmix earlier in the video. But yeah, these just look fantastic. Love the Wolfmix, love the S6 lights, the features, the effects. They're just great. I did want to discuss my experience with Both Lighting's customer service. Now, this is Both Lighting in China. Of the 20 lights I received, one of them was malfunctioning. As you can see in the photo, only one of the diodes is working. So I messaged my sales rep in China, and they sent me back a picture of what needed to be fixed and how to fix it. So if you look at the photo on the right, this is the picture that they sent me back, just kind of pointing at the light. I figured out what they meant by it. If you look at the diodes that are there, the lights are in the same orientation in the pictures. And you can see how on the white one, which is the picture that they sent me, the two diodes are straight across from each other. And on mine, it's a little bit shifted. Now, I know the faceplate is on right because the screws are in there, but its orientation is just off a little bit. So the faceplate that needs to hold the diodes needed to be rotated. So I unscrewed the plastic partition, then unscrewed the plate holding the diodes and rotated it counterclockwise 90 degrees. And that way the diodes then sat perfectly over the LEDs and everything was fine. I have spoken with a few other DJs that use these lights, and when it comes to purchasing them from China, this is pretty much their customer service. They will send you a photo or video of how to fix something, and then they expect you to do it yourself. It kind of makes sense because to ship them back to China, probably going to take a week or two, probably going to be really expensive, and then a week or two and more expense to get them sent back to you. They say they have a year warranty. I haven't really gotten to the point yet with any of my fixtures where the instructions they give me to fix my lights haven't worked. So I have no idea what happens if there's no way to fix it, and I'm really just hoping I never have to find that out. But all in all, I was happy with this level of customer service, and the response time was great. I sent the photo the night of the event, and the next morning I had the picture of how to fix it.
So that's the S6 Uplight from Both Lighting. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the light itself, the case that it comes with, the Wolfmix that I showed you a little bit about, the wireless DMX extender. Any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.